What's up, guys? We have UFC 287, Israel Adesanya against Pereira rematch. Uh, I don't know, let's say for their rematch. So we're gonna have interesting fights. So stay tuned.
Are you ready? I'm ready. Are you ready? I'm ready. Are you ready? I'm ready. I'm ready. Let's go.
That's
What's up? I've heard better, but it's not too bad.
yeah, it's not fourth for sure because like fourth match maybe, but not rematch. But whatever.
Yeah.
Cheers, brother.
Cheers.
I
What you
guess
got tonight?
this is the background is not good for the drinks. I have Modelo.
All right, I'm drinking some coffee, bulletproof coffee, pour over style.
Okay, so you're gonna be bulletproof. I guess you're winning tonight. Our
That's
picks.
right.
Let's.
I'm not high yet, for the record, as Alex just accused me of, but not yet.
I did ask you that. Yeah, I admit.
All right, brother. We got a pretty cool main card to get to, as you mentioned. The main event, we got the fourth iteration of Stylebender versus Pereira. All right. In the co-main, we got Gilbert Burns taking on the veteran George Masvidal, Rob Font taking on the young Adrian Yanez, Kevin Holland taking on Santiago Ponzinibio, and to open up the main card, we got Raul Rosas Jr. versus Christian Rodriguez. I'm gonna throw it back to you, Alex. Who do you got in the main event, and how do you see it going down?
Okay, so we have something new for this time. We're gonna time it. So you have a minute and a half max, like, and then it's gonna ring uh to put your case and what you're going who you're going with. If you manage to finish earlier, you finish earlier, but minute and a half is the most that you can get, and then you have to choose. I saw your pick, but let me start with mine. Okay, so let me find the timer.
Yeah, start
Okay,
that timer.
okay, I have a minute and a half. Okay, so more or less, guys, what I think in this match, everything is gonna be mental. Like this is like only guy who beat Easy multiple times. So really, I think this is his last chance to redeem himself, and I think it's gonna be really the best possible way. And in the first match, he was winning. He did really good. He almost put Pereira out in the first round, but unfortunately, like it was end of the round, so Pereira survived and managed to come back with a KO in the last round. So more or less all of those matches are going like that. Like Easy is doing better, he's good, and then just like two times happened good night Easy. So for me, I think he's more skilled than Pereira. Pereira is bigger than him, has that like crazy KO power in his hands, and he really nicely opened the match with those low kicks or calf kicks that really pay dividends later in the match. So it's all about the game plan. If he decide to wrestle a little bit more, because I think he can make a damage if his legs are healthy to Pereira. So we're gonna see. The most what for me in this match is like easy mental state, and is he gonna wrestle?
Oh, that's time, brother. Who you got?
Pereira.
All right, let me pick up where you left off, and I think the low calf kicks of Pereira were actually a big factor in their last fight. I didn't notice it during the time, but it is something that Izzy brought up as to why he was a little bit more sluggish and couldn't move like how he wanted to. That being said, I do think Izzy's gonna try to wrestle a bit more. Moments he tried to grapple with him, he had success. And granted, it is at a risk, right? Because if you grapple him and you can't finish it, or you struggle to finish it, like what's going to happen afterwards? What's your gas tank like? Izzy isn't a natural wrestler. So just being less efficient than, if you're a natural wrestler, I think that could be a factor. So I'm interested to see if he does wrestle Pereira a bit more, and I think that is the key to victory. That being said, as far as the mental state of both of these fighters, I'm seeing Izzy coming in more hungry than Pereira in this, and that's why I'm going with Izzy. You know, beating the same guy 3 times already. How much? He definitely doesn't lack the confidence, but how hungry can you be to beat the guy for 4 times in a row? Maybe maybe he's got the power. I mean, we've for sure seen he's got the power to knock out Izzy, but I think 95% of the time Izzy wins this fight. It's just that dangerous 5%. I'm going
Hear
Izzy.
that?
I'm going Izzy.
Okay, so first one, and we are going separate ways. I'm not surprised there.
These 90 seconds make a difference. I felt a bit rushed, but yeah, I'm going Izzy with this.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be more interesting. Like we need to learn to present our case fast, furious, and precise. I also fucked it up, but let's go to the next one. Maybe we're gonna do better.
Yeah, well, I'll take on this one first since you went for the first time. So my 90 seconds, I'm opening up with Gilbert Burns.
Let's
I think
go.
what's that?
Let's go.
All right, Masvidal, he definitely has a puncher's chance, a kicker's chance, a knees chance, right, to put out Gilbert Burns. But when it comes down to it, Masvidal, he's fought this type of fighter before, someone who can out grapple him, and on paper isn't as good of a striker, but they don't fight on paper, right? Like they fight in a cage, and that's where Gilbert Burns is gonna make him think and worry about the grappling, because if he takes him down, he definitely has the ability to submit Masvidal, and that's why I think Gilbert Burns is actually gonna look like a better striker than he actually is against Masvidal. I wouldn't be surprised if he drops him. Maybe a TKO, but more or less, I see Gilbert Burns getting the win, decision or TKO. We've seen this fight against like Kobe and Usman, who again aren't better strikers than Masvidal, but they were able to outstrike him because of the grappling threat. So I'm going with Gilbert Burns.
Okay, that's 1 minute. You did really good.
All right, all right. Oh, let me add this. Last weekend, or not even last weekend, George Masvidal, his boxing promotion, Game Bred Boxing, like I think it was a success. But that being said, like as a full-time fighter, how much can you devote to training for a fight and fight promotion? I think that's gonna play a factor as well. So another reason I'm going with Burns, who is fully committed to this fight.
Okay, great. Okay, um, I went a little bit crazy here. I like the odds on Masvidal, and I was really like when I was preparing for this, and I was going through the list of Masvidal wins, and let's not count last three that he lost from Kobe, and he was saying that he wasn't there mentally, this, that, and it was a lot of pressure on him to go against the Kobe. And 2 fights against Kamaru, where even on the first one, short notice, he did very good. Second one, he got caught, he got KO'd. And then if you go back, he had like 2 losses from Stephen Thompson, who is always hard matchup for almost everyone. Damian Maia split decision, and he didn't lost other matches from 2016. If you go, he was really building, and those 2 great wins against Askren and Darren Till. I think he was really building something, and I think he's in his prime. So I'm really giving him a chance for. That's why, and especially Gilbert is like, I don't know, 500. We're gonna see the odds later. Favorite, that is he very hard matchup for Masvidal. Yes, he is. He has a power in his hands. He has jiu-jitsu world class. Maybe now one of the best guys in UFC, but I'm still thinking that Masvidal is gonna win this one, and especially on plus 360. And I
All
think it's
right, wrap it up, bro. Wrap it up.
okay. Masvidal.
All right. On to the next one. We got Masvidal Jr., Adrian Yanez. No relation. They just look alike, in my opinion. Versus Rob Font. In my opinion, Adrian Yanez might have the best boxing, not only in bantamweight, but
Wait, wait, wait.
possibly.
Wait,
What's
wait,
up?
wait. Go now.
I got a little extra time. I'll take it. But Yanez, I think he's got the best boxing possibly in the UFC. He's got the quickest hands, most educated hands. He'll go to the body. I love how he stays in the pocket, just slipping his head just out of range to get his counters. And this will be the biggest test of his career. You're looking at Rob Font. He's been in the main events. He's fought, the who's who of the bantamweight division since he got into the UFC. Really, he's only fought big names. So that being said, I think it's Adrian Yanez's time. And if he wins this, it's going to be only big names after this. So I think it'll be mostly a boxing affair, which will go in Yanez's side, which, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a little bit grappling, but just judging by all of their fights in the UFC, Rob Font's going to try to box him up. Adrian Yanez will oblige, he'll box him up too. But they both have submissions on the record. Yanez is a black belt in jiu-jitsu. Font is a brown belt. So, there are no slouches there, but I'm going with Adrian Yanez.
Okay, you said that he looks like, okay, you did very good. Minute 15, okay, you had some extra time. But like you said, he looks like Masvidal, but you can change the picture, So give me okay, yeah. He looks like better version of Masvidal, younger.
I'm not high, guys, I swear.
I don't know. You were suspicious from beginning. Okay, that was your time. Okay, I'm gonna go. Okay, guys. I think this is the one that first one that we agree on this fight card. Yeah, he's just like in 5 fights row win streak. Like Patrick said, like since he came to UFC, he had really good uh, competition. Very solid for the new guy. What I really like. And the only guy that he didn't manage to put out, Davy Grant, and he had awesome performance a few weeks ago, and he's super tough. In that match, he even showed me that he can take, even like he doesn't roll nicely with the punches and move, when he can take the punch, So I think he's a full package, and even some things that he's doing, I really like, and I'm gonna try to put him in my game, just like Rob Font, 2 losses in a row. As soon as he get like to Aldo, who retired, and Vera, he just like you know didn't have that level that I think maybe Yanez has, and he can prove himself that he can be top dog in 135. So I just think it's gonna be big step for Yanez, and maybe the biggest name that he's gonna take for now, and I think he will win with KO TKO in second round. I'm even predicting that. Perfect.
Well, I think that's like you said, the first fight that we agree on. I forget who you pick for this next one, but go ahead, start that timer because I'm ready to talk
Okay.
about Santiago Ponzinibio. This guy's been a dark horse in the welterweight division. In my opinion, so yeah, since before 2019, and I think that was a big kind of turning point. It's a combination, I think, a little bit of a serious staph infection that he got, and then also the pandemic. He didn't fight at all in the year 2020, so I think that kind of killed a lot of his momentum. If you remember, he was on a 7-fight win streak, and he capped off that win streak with a KO over Neil Magny. But since then, he's struggled to get 2 fights, 2 wins in a row, and that's kind of why I'm going with Kevin Holland. I think he's got the better striking, the better grappling. He's been a bit more active and battle testing. One thing I will say about Kevin Holland though is, like, as good of a fighter as he is, like, he makes questionable decisions in the cage. Like in his last fight, I thought he was doing great against Wonder Boy. He had the opportunity to finish a few times, and he just decided to stand up instead of finishing the fight. I understand they have like a unwritten agreement, beforehand to only kickbox and not go to the ground. But at this level, I don't think you can be playing with that. Like we saw, he got TKO'd for it in a fight that he should have won. So I think he has the skills to win. Whether or not he's gonna utilize all of his skills to win is a different story. But I'm going
Okay.
with Calvin
Okay.
Holland.
Who do you got?
Kevin Holland.
Okay. Yeah, exactly how you said. Like I agree with everything what you said, and I think the biggest thing, Santiago Ponzabio is the guy who is going for the victory. Okay, and he will try to do everything to win. With Kevin Holland, we really don't know what to expect. Like I think he has all the tools to be top contender, if not even the champion. To be honest, like even against Chimaev, I had him winning that fight. And I think that he survived those full scrambles. He would manage to end up on top in that match. After that, and that lost, and I think lost against Stephen Boy Thompson. I just don't know what to expect from this guy. I think I went with him, but like I wouldn't be surprised if I changed my mind on Saturday and put some money on Ponzanibio, because I think he's just the guy that finds enough to win. Even his losses, like recent losses in his return, I think they were both split decision. And on plus 225, I think maybe there is something that you guys can play on him. For now, I'm going with Kevin Holland because I think he's like an amazing fighter and he could be like a package deal, but just something in his head, just doesn't allow him to reach his full potential. Even though I said what I said, I'm going with Kevin Holland. If I remember good, but I think I am.
We'll see, and who knows? You might change it Saturday, like you said. But next one, and I actually remember to switch the picture for this. We got, in my opinion, one of UFC's next hype machine products. And that's not to take anything away from Rosas Jr. He's the youngest fighter in the UFC right now. I think he shows promising skills. I know some people are thinking that he's the next big thing, maybe a future champion. We'll see. I don't think he's shown anything so exceptional other than he's a young guy that's fighting professionally, which is impressive for sure. And they got a guy, Christian Rodriguez, who's 8-1, 1-1 in the UFC, so no slouch by any means. I haven't seen too much of Christian Rodriguez, to be honest, but if I'm correct in thinking that the UFC is doing its thing, we've seen in the past they like their stars and they like to build them up. I think this is another lamb that they're gonna give to Raul Rosas Jr. To just slaughter. Like I do think he has the skills. He's got good grappling, good back takes. He's kind of hittable, kind of reckless. But what can you expect from an 18-year-old? Who is undefeated, I believe, right?
Yep,
So
that
he's
is
got
good.
a lot of confidence, a lot of ability to finish. I think he's probably going to take some bumps and bruises, maybe some losses before he even gets to a title fight. I just don't think it's going to be this Saturday. He's going to get the win.
Oh, you're getting so good on the first try.
Right on time.
Okay. Okay, guys. I disagree with Patrick. I think that UFC, if they wanted to build up Rosas, they made a mistake, and they gave him a guy who entered to UFC. He was fighting in 145 in really tough matchup. He showed the potential that he can stay calm on the ground, like even have solid positions and everything. So I think it's just like it's gonna be a big surprise for most of the people because like that hype train on Raul Rosas, I think it's gonna shut off this weekend. If you go with Rodriguez, he has really power in his hands. His stand up looks good, elbows great. Only thing, like sometimes he's not good with the distance, and his striking looks a little bit awkward. But like when he finds a good distance, like he is really deadly with his hands. What his score also is saying. And that one loss that he had in his career, I wouldn't take it against him. He's also young, 25 years old. He has a cardio, like even in his loss, like he was in pretty bad positions, but like he was fresh till end of the match. So I think the pace that Raul Rosa Jr. bringing, and I think he's really powerful. Like how he lift, like on the crouch, on the single crouch, I guess I lost my time. I got deconcentrated for a second. Okay, point. I'm going with Rodriguez. I'm going for surprise, or not surprise to me.
Just to wrap it up, we went a little bit quick, but let's see. What is this? Prelims. Oh,
Yeah,
these are the prelims.
I think there's a couple good matchups. We're gonna have really great matchup against Gastelum and Curtis, Chiesa and Li Yin Lang or Leach. We have Michelle Watterson, Luana Pinheiro. Also, I think Chris Barnett was supposed to be on that card, but I don't know
Mhm.
why I didn't saw him later. I don't know what happened. We're gonna figure out and let you guys know. And this is like our final picks. I managed to put number 2 next to my name.
Comeback of the century, brother.
Yeah, I
Was
mean, it was looking pretty bad. Maybe I should start chasing those underdogs a little bit less, but I didn't do this time. I went with underdogs again.
Yeah, well, we got a good card, and I kind of want to take a peek at the prelims again. I didn't realize Chiesa versus Leach is on the prelims, or if I did, I forgot. That's an exciting fight for the welterweights. I'm kind of surprised that it's on the prelims, to be honest. Like, I think the Leach and Chiesa are near the top, or kind of dark horses of the division as well. So that's going to be an exciting one.
Yep.
Let's go on to whose picks are these? Oh,
What do
these
you
must be
think? See
yours.
the numbers and what do you think?
All right, well, you got to win those bets to get those numbers.
I agree.
All right, so we got $10. If you go with Alex's picks, he stands to win 670. That's on Rodriguez, Holland, Yanez, Masvidal, and Pereira. All right. Not bad picks. I see what three of those are underdogs, as per usual. And I picked all the favorites. This is without seeing any of the betting odds. So maybe I should be a odds maker, a bookie. But I'm
Yeah,
going with Burns, Yanez, Holland, Rosas, and Izzy. So I just want to say, man, what was the hardest fight for you to pick? Like, are there any toss ups?
honestly, like Gilbert Burns was like super big favorite and was like for me that's it, style wise and this. And then when I start looking and thinking about it and I saw the odds, I try to persuade myself that Masvidal has a chance, and I really think he does. That's maybe the hardest one. Everything else, like maybe after that, Kevin Holland and Easy and Pereira. I mean, like if you're talking like knowledge wise, I would go with Easy, but I just think it's mental on that level, and that Easy has ha- have a problem with Alex, and I think Alex has his number, and he's just gonna confirm. But like we will see. I mean, I would be happy if Easy wins.
Yeah, that
So
was the hardest one for me to pick. I actually picked Pereira to win, and then I changed my mind back to Izzy. Maybe it's some bias because Pereira does cut a lot of weight, and I just I like the idea of fighting closer to your natural weight, but also I like over how many ever minutes they fought. I think Izzy's proven to be the better fighter, but he just loses every time. So that was a hard one for me to pick either way because you could make the case for either guy pretty strongly.
yeah, I agree. I agree. We will see. It's gonna be pretty interesting. Like for betting aspect, if you're not going for the underdogs, more or less on at least on the main card, everything is so wide. It's widespread on the odds. So I don't know if you're going on the favorites. You saw Patrick. Maybe this time you don't even have for McDonald's. It's pretty. So we're
I
gonna
don't know.
see.
You got to learn how to use the dollar menu at McDonald's, dude. I could eat like a king over there.
I agree. For that, maybe it's good one. Yeah,
60.
65. Yeah, you
Oh,
can feed like on dollar menu, even 4 people. Depends
Yeah,
how.
that's like a week's worth of McDonald's, man.
I guess so. I mean, I'm going for a big, not Big Mac. I'm going for a big money. That's why I
Uh,
like those underdogs. So more or less that's it. Do we have some news? Did you watch the fights? You mentioned Game Brad boxing. We were even talking to go, but I guess there was no finishes. All decisions.
Yeah, I saw a little bit of actually Aldo versus Stevens. I thought that started out really cool. Like, man, these guys are actually boxing it up. And then I thought they just got kind of tired towards the end, a little flat footed, but it was a good fight. I didn't see any of the main event, but I saw Pettis won that. Were you surprised by that?
I mean, how many years has Roy Jones Jr.? Like
Yeah, I think he's like 54.
54. I think
Yeah.
even playing chess, like it can get like tiring in that years. Like so it can go on your wrist. If you're pulling the moves, not even punching somebody in the face. Especially like against young guy. So I don't even know what to say about those matches. It's just like it doesn't make sense for me. Like you're 54.
Yeah, I mean the rest of the fights they seemed competitive just from like the little pieces I saw, but I tuned out for the main event. I couldn't watch.
Yeah, I agree. We have too many events. Like there was like PFL this weekend. I watched some of those fights. Bellator on Friday. I didn't watch any. So it's just like we are bombing with a lot of events. And we should pick our battles. What we're gonna watch. We're gonna try to cover everything to give the info to you guys, but like spend your time on quality matches. I think one FC now that's coming in Denver, that should be pretty good. I saw Roberto Soldic is fighting one of the maybe the best European fighters. He's also on that card, that what I saw a few days, but we're gonna bring more news, so just stay tuned.
Oh, excited for that. We got a good card this weekend. So yep, like Alex said, stay tuned. Make sure you like, subscribe, share all of this to everyone you know.
I agree, and we were ringing that bell too many times tonight, so you can ring it one time. Just like ring the bell down. See you guys.
All right, ciao. Enjoy the fights.
Cheers.